I came up with the idea of sustainability and growing sometime in college, and that's where I brought my partner Andrew in. And we were going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what's the best way to provide food to a community. And as you know, or a lot of people know, like food distribution is one of the biggest challenges in this country to feeding people, and as well as the biggest leading factor to food waste, or maybe lack of distribution is a better way to say it. Because I believe somewhere between a third to up to half of all food produced in this country gets thrown out because it doesn't make it to the destination, or it doesn't meet beauty standards, or once it's there, it took too long, and then it rots away on the shelf. So that's kind of how, like the thought process, or the reason, or the meaning behind why we started what we're doing. We reached out to Artisan, or we were looking at space saver racks, and that got us in contact with your sales team. That's how we got, designs for the racking and whatnot, planning how it would work in the facility, to kind of do what we have going on here. And the reason we decided to go with the mobile rack system is the beauty of that is we can grow more in a smaller space, because every square foot in a warehouse matters, and that's not just like any logistical problem. It's like especially for indoor hydroponic farms is the cost of a building goes up, like square footage increases in cost, but you can only do so much on one tier, where we can go vertical on every stacked shelf. Fit more crops and make every square foot more profitable. And that's one of the reasons we chose the mobile rack system.
Starting with this business, the big thing is managing to have as much production in as compact space while still maintaining plant health. So using these, using the racks, using the current system that we're using for ventilation, and the water cycles that we have going on, allows us to really capitalize on the space within a confined city, as it were.
The nice thing about the Active Rack is the ability to, I don't want to say, I think modify would probably be the best way to say it, and like kind of fit it to our exact needs. Like we decked out a lot of these racks with our own custom equipment, and then it had plenty of utility, like holes and whatnot, that we could take advantage of to make them our own. That's, I'd say, one of the biggest advantages.
Because we grow so many different plants, it does matter for us in terms of where we organize things within the systems, and being able to have things in spots that are already designated for different heights, different light schedules, different watering cycles. So as is, all the racks that we have in this facility are have slightly different setups for the different kinds of plants that we grow. For example, the systems where we have much more available room, we have slightly better ventilation, we have slightly longer light periods. It allows us to grow plants bigger, it allows us to grow plants that need a little bit more light, like peppers, cucumbers. So it gives us that capacity. Meanwhile, we can also have plants that are growing on much shorter systems. So they don't need quite as much water, they're in and out much faster. They don't need quite a lot of light, but they're still happy and healthy, and they still can get everything they need.
On these racks, which are nice because we can really condense them down, and if we can moving these around is creating different size shelving is great. So we can do a variety of things, but primarily we're focusing on doing microgreens and petite greens. So we got some micro cilantro down here, some petite mustard, some micro sorrel, purple basil, and just in this immediate vicinity. But around the facility, we do other larger plants that we can have a larger spacing of, or if we need to adjust it ourselves, it's not a problem.
Restaurants will vary quite a bit what they're using, what kind of products they want. Some of them look more for like a garnish, just to spice up a plate and things like that, while others will use it as a core ingredient in whatever they're preparing. We've started off with some smaller microgreens, things like that, but we're slowly ramping up production. We're going to start doing growing fruit. We've also are launching mushrooms this year. So Depends a lot by client, but what we're really looking to do is, regardless of how the restaurants are using it, to make an impact on them and make an impact on their customers.
Moving forward in the future, being able to have mushrooms and kind of utilize the mobile racks that we already purchased that we initially thought and retrofit them for mushrooms is going to be a big benefit for us in space saving, because the amount of space required and just stacking them all is great, you know, everything consolidated.
Making sure that you have a nice aisleway to work in, but then having these carriages moving up and down these aisles so that even though you have a big work area, you can still get a big grow area by, you know, minimizing aisleways.
Space is the premium, and being able to save space wherever you can is great.